Hey, what's up guys? This is Mika from BECG Workshop. A lot of you guys have been asking me how I create PBR textures. So in this P3 lesson, I will teach you how to create a full PBR material inside Substance Designer. And as a bonus, I will show you how to export those maps and also how to import and apply to our shader ball inside Unreal Engine. So let's dive into it. So the first thing that we have to do is to go to File, New Substance. Substance will pop up this window and we have to choose a workflow to work inside Substance. So we're gonna choose Metallic Roughness. If you are working in V-Ray or Corona, for example, you probably will choose specular glossiness to work. But in our case, we're gonna use Unreal Engine to create the final material, so metallic roughness will work fine. And let's put a name. Material will work okay. And let's choose a resolution. For this, we're gonna work in 2K, but we can change this later inside Substance. In the Graph Outputs tab, we can see the maps that we're gonna create. So base color, normal, roughness, metallic, and height. And one thing to remember is that those maps are the maps that Substance will export for us. So let's press OK. And here we are, Substance has created our first graph. And just a reminder, this is a very basic class for those who are starting to work with Substance Designer or never work with Substance and want to learn the basic stuff. So here we have our output nodes. And we can also check the same outputs in our Explorer window. So we have a base color, normal, roughness, metallic, and height. So now we have to save this graph, and for that is very simple. You just have to right click in the package and click save. So let's choose a name, package. Let's check our file in our desktop, and here it is. You can see that is a .sbs file. So guys, if you want to create a new graph inside the same package, you just have to right click, go to New, and New Substance Graph. Let's choose a new name, Material 2. Let's press OK, and now we have two different graphs. Let's rename this for Material 1. Every time that we change something, we have to resave our package. And for that, we just have to click on your keyboard Ctrl S, or right click and click on Save As. Or if you prefer, just click on this little button right here. So let's close it, and I will show you how to reopen the file. Actually, it's very easy. You just have to go to File, Open, and here we have our package.sbs, and click Open. So the next step is to start to create our textures. Let's start with this brick tool. It doesn't matter. I just want to show you how the connections work. So you can see that, as you can see, our base color have a input node, and our brick tool have a output node. So let's connect those two. Substance Designer will automatically show you the base color in our 3D view. If you are not seeing the base color on our 3D view, you can right click on the grid and choose View Outputs in 3D view. And Substance will update our maps in our 3D view. And you can also check the textures in this 2D view. And that is a very cool feature from Substance Designer. you can see a 2D and 3D at the same time. And basically this is how Substance works. And some nodes have two options, input and output. So let's load a levels to check that. Oh, and to bring this search bar, it's very easy. You just have to hit spacebar in your keyboard. So let's make those connections. Let's pick up the output, connect to input, and pick up the output and connect to input. And the levels node is very similar to Photoshop levels, where you can control the brightness and the darkness of the image. And I have to say again that is a very, very simple connection, just so you guys know how it works, okay? So let's continue. Basically, we can create two kinds of materials, conductors or dielectrics. And basically speaking, a conductor will be a metal and a dielectric will be, for example, a plastic. So let's start creating our material. We're gonna create a conductor, a metal. Let's bring a uniform color where you can choose a color or a grayscale. And in this case, I will choose a orange color. Let's try to make a gold material. Let's make the connection. So for the normal map, we have to connect something because otherwise we'll start looking a little weird in our 3D view. So let's bring a flat normal map color and connect to our normal. We also gonna need a roughness map, and for that I will bring another uniform color, and this time I will change for grayscale and connect to roughness. Let's copy and paste and connect to metallic, copy and paste and connect to height. And basically this is our material, very basic, but it's done. Of course that we have to make some changes in some nodes to get a more interesting look to our gold metal. So let's start. In a metallic roughness workflow, the metallic channel will control if our shader is a conductor or a dielectric. So let's put a full white color in our uniform color, and Substance will understand that this shader is a conductor, it is a metal. And as you can see, our material start looking more like a metal gold. The roughness channel will control if our material is more like a polished surface or more like a matte surface. And the way that you can control the roughness channel is if you bring the slider to white, will make the surface look more like a matte surface. And if you bring the slider to black, will start looking more like a polished surface. So if you are working in a metallic roughness workflow, as we don't have a specular color who is controlling the metal color is the base color. So basically we just have created our first material. So another very important thing that I want to mention is the material visualization in 3D view. And to make sure that we are looking the right workflow, in this case metallic roughness, we go to materials, default, definitions, and choose the right workflow, in this case metallic roughness. And if for some reason you choose the specular glossiness, and as you can see the material is not looking right, is looking like a plastic. So make sure to select the right workflow for the graph and for the 3D view. Now let's rename our graph for metal gold. And let's delete the material 2 because we don't need it anymore. Remember that we have to save the package. So at this point, our material is ready to export and use it, but I think it's too simple. So let's start making some changes to get a interesting look. And let's start with the normal channel. I want to show you guys the way that I like to work inside Substance Designer. And I will bring some procedural nodes as a Clouds 1 and also some grunge maps. And I will organize them here. And now that we have some nodes to try, let's bring a normal node and connect to normal. As you can see, we can already start to see the normal map in our 3D view. So this method is very effective and we can try different nodes in a very fast way. So let's move on. Let's search for some grunge maps. And let's try some on our normal map. I think it's better to change the mesh that we are seeing in our 3D view. So let's choose a math ball. And to make sure, let's try again some different nodes in our normal map. I think the clouds one will give us a great result, so let's use it. Let me organize those nodes here so we can use it as we want. If you want to change the intensity of normal map, just click on the node, and as you can see on the parameters, you have the intensity. So let's put 0.5. So for our roughness map, let's try some different nodes to see the result. Let's delete the connection, and we're not going to use this uniform color anymore. And let's try some of these nodes in our roughness map. We can control the contrast and balance for a few of those maps, but I want to show you guys a very nice technique that I use to have a better control for this kind of situation. Let's make more room for work. And what I want to do is to combine this grunge map with this uniform color. And for that, we're gonna use a blend node. And let's connect the uniform color in the background and our grunge map in the foreground. And make the connection in our roughness map. If you left double click on the blend node, you can see that we have a blend mode that is very similar to Photoshop. And for that, let's choose screen. And if you change the opacity, you can see how it works. So a few words about this technique is that it's very effective and very easy to do. In a very fast way, you can change the maps and check the result. So let's try a few of them and see what we get. Well, guys, you can do this kind of connections and it's very basic connections for every channel. For example, you can start doing this kind of blends for base color, for normal map, metallic channel, and the height map. So let's review what we have done so far. We have a solid color connected to the base color. We have a clouds one connected to a normal map. We have two nodes, uniform color and grunge map, connected to a blend node and connected to our roughness map. We have a full white color connected to metallic channel, which means that this material is a conductor material. And for the height map, let me show you how to use it. So let's hit spacebar and search for normal to height node. And let's connect the normal to height node. And automatically Substance will create for us our height map based on our normal map. Let me organize the graph. So guys, we have done with our material, and I have to say that is a very basic material, but for those who are starting, I think we can stop here and let's move on and export those maps. And guys, don't forget that Substance will export only the output nodes. So to change the resolution of the document is very easy. You just have to left double click on the grid. And in our base parameters, as you can see, we are working at 2K. You can change that for whatever you want, but in our case, we're gonna choose 4K. This resolution will work just fine for us. And as you can see, 4K is a high resolution map, and we have a lot of details on this surface. And now let's export our maps. And for that, just click on this little gear icon and choose Export Outputs. So I will save those maps on my desktop, and the format that I will choose is JPEG. So as you can see, the outputs will be the base color, normal, roughness, metallic, and height. Those are our output maps. With that done, let's click on Export Outputs. Substance will save for us. And let's go to our desktop to check those maps. And here we have the maps that we're gonna import into Unreal Engine and create our metal gold material. So this is the Unreal Engine, and here we are with our shader ball. The lights are already set up. I'm not gonna cover that in this lesson. Stay tuned for a full lighting course in Unreal Engine. But for this lesson, I will show you how to create a material inside Unreal Engine. So let's go. So let's create a new folder and rename it for whatever you want. I will put SD Metal Gold Textures. Let's open it. And let's click on Import. And let's choose our maps. And to apply those textures, we need to create a material. So it's very easy. You just have to right click, choose new material. Let's rename it to metal gold. So let's double click and Unreal will open for us the material editor. Let me organize the windows. Let me get some room for work. Well, let's apply our material to our shader ball. So to do that, let's select our meshes. Let's click on our material. And let's click on this little arrow in our details panel. And now that we have our material applied to our shader ball, let's start to connect those maps that we have imported in our material. Let's start with the base color. Let's connect to base color and click apply. And as you can see, our shader ball becomes yellow. Now let's pick up the normal map and connect to normal. Let's bring the metallic channel and connect to metallic. And as you can see, our materials start to look like a metal gold. Let's pick up the roughness map, connect to roughness channel. Let me organize those maps, and I want to mention something that is very important. For the roughness and the height map, we need to change the gamma setting because Unreal is applying a gamma curve to those maps, and those maps are linear, so we have to change that. And for that, just select your textures, left double click, and we have to uncheck the sRGB checkbox. So let's save it. And let's do the same for our roughness map. And as you can see, we have an error. So as we change the sRGB, after we make those connections, we have to re-import those maps and reconnect. It's very easy. So now let's bring our height map and connect to our world position offset. With all those maps connected, let's click apply. And Unreal Engine will update our shader ball. And as you can see, the material is done. Well guys, we came to the end of this lesson. I hope you like it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for more courses very soon. Thank you and I see you soon guys.